What's going on, everyone? So we're all anxiously waiting around to see if the Lakers do anything this offseason, and then lo and behold, boom, Lakers make an Exhibit 10 signing. So the Lakers have signed Jordan Goodwin to an Exhibit 10 training camp invite. So Jordan Goodwin is going to have an opportunity to make the roster, but not probably make the roster, even if he is good, because the Lakers would have to make a trade in order to free up a roster spot in order to get him, unless they let somebody go on a two-way and then they bring him in on a two-way, which, why would you do that? It's just, chances are this is just a, hey, we need bodies for training camp so we can run sets and scrimmages and have defense and all that stuff. And Jordan Goodwin provides kind of what you want against your starters, right? So an athletic guard that can, put the ball on the deck, play some defense. But more than anything, the beauty of Jordan Goodwin and really where his ace is for a guard is rebounding, right? He is a guy that averaged 8 rebounds a game last year, although 17 games with the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a guy that is very good at rebounding the basketball at 6'3", 200 pounds. So rebounding, particularly those long ball rebounds, was a real problem for the Lakers last year, right? So to me, this just kind of seems like, hey, we kind of need guys that can kind of emulate what you'll get in actual game situations. So let's bring in a guy like a Jordan Goodwin. Now, if we weren't flushed with guards, and if we didn't have more guards than anything else, right? Then I'd be all for going and bringing in Jordan Goodwin and having him be a guard. Now, look, if the Lakers end up pulling off a trade or something like that, right, to where they free up and now they need a guard, then yes, Jordan Goodwin would actually make a lot of sense. Now, there are some pros and cons with Jordan Goodwin. Now, again, Jordan Goodwin kind of being that active, physical, kind of grunt type guard that can apply pressure, do the things necessary that we would need at the guard position, give you some point of attack, give you a different look from a D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, guys like that, especially if we're to trade. Let's say we do the Jeremy Grant trade, just as an example. Jordan Goodwin would be solid in that Gabe Vincent spot, right, to kind of fill in that gap, fill in that role, and particularly help with the rebounding, right? Lakers were abysmal rebounding the basketball last year. So he has the pros in just being that point of attack, be that defensive guy, got similar size to Gabe Vincent, both are the 6'3" range, 200 pounds. So again, give you that compliment, but rebounding would definitely, you'd see an uptick and an increase because of how good he is rebounding the basketball. Now, the problem is this is another guard that can't shoot the basketball. I mean, he's terrible. He's 28 to 30%, three-point shooter. Now, again, playing alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, could you maybe get a little uptick, especially with J.J. Redick as the head coach? Could J.J. Redick potentially help, kind of work on his shot, work on his game to have him, at least be reasonable, right? That could be a possibility. But you're looking at a guy from three-point percentage, career 30.8%. So again, talking 31% from three-point range. His real pros, his real benefits, again, come from rebounding the basketball. He can make the occasional play too, right? But he is kind of looked at as that Gabe Vincent type of mold, type of player. But if you look at his per 36 minutes, they're actually pretty good. Now, three-point percentage is 31.5%, so that's still not good. But his per 36, he's 13.3 points on 41% from the field, which again is not good. A lot of that is because of his three-point percentage. Makes that bad. 1.7 steals, 0.7 blocks, so basically a block. And then 5.3 assists with 8 rebounds. Again, per 36 minutes. Because, it's basically taking his average from his career. Where, again, with Memphis, he was really good rebounding the basketball. To me, this just kind of seems like, again, just somebody on the other side of a D'Lo, on the other side of an Austin Reeves, just to add some competition for training camp, right? J.J. Redick really wants to instill this competitive high octane level practice where it's just, the practices are as grueling as the games, if not more. So that way you're prepared for the games, right? JJ wants to kind of get back to that old school, like, hey, we're working hard in practice. And so this kind of feels to me like that, right? Because, the first default that a lot of people jump to is like, okay, well, why aren't they doing a center? Why didn't they bring in a center? One, who's that center that's out there, right? Like, you could bring in like Mo, you could bring in Colin Castleton, right? Like, so they have guys that can kind of match up and fill that spot, right? Like, this to me is just, it seems like, hey, we need guys that can pressure and make things difficult for our guards, right? We need a guy that can get after it and get into D'Angelo Russell while he's bringing the ball up the court, right? Somebody that can help rebound, while they're on the other side of things. And now D'Lo and Austin Reeves have to try to match up and have to try to, outpace him, right? Like, I just think it just gives you that guy that you're going to see on the other side in actual games that is going to be trying to bust you up, right? Like, I think that is kind of what this is, right? Obviously, you never know. In hindsight, week from now or whatever, we could be looking back and go, oh, that's why they brought in, Jordan Goodwin. They brought in Jordan Goodwin because they ended up pulling off some trade. They ended up making some move, and we needed another guard. So boom, now he's stepping into that role. They just want to kind of get a feel. And maybe it's just to kind of keep him on the Lakers' radar, right? Maybe it's just like, hey, even if we don't do a trade right now, if we do something later on down the road and he is still available, right? Say another team doesn't go and pick him up, well then, we can bring him in. He's a guy that we can have. So it might be one of those things after training camp where it's like, hey, we need you to stay in shape. We need you to keep working hard, work on your shot, right? Work hard on your shot, right? We need you to be at least around ideally 35% or something like that, right? Because I don't see them waiving any of their two-way guys. Because you're talking about waiving Colin Castleton, Armel Traore, or Blake Hinson. None of those guys I would waive for Jordan Goodwin, right? Like, I think Jordan Goodwin would be solid on the Lakers. I think, again, he's a guy that could help with some of the issues that the Lakers have, especially if we end up making a move or we end up making a trade or something like that. Then yes, I do think that this makes a lot more sense. But just assuming that this is just all that it is, which is a training camp invite, then to me it's just you're not getting rid of your young development guys. I mean, Jordan Goodwin's only 25, so there is still room for growth and development, but he's like who are you waiving? Like, Blake Hinson is a guy that fits beautifully with what we need right now. Like, you're not waiving him. Armel Traore may end up being the best young Laker we have, period. Right? Like, his versatility, his size, his length, his ability that he's shown to be able to do everything. Colin Castleton, maybe you waive him, but it's just like, why would you waive him and never give him the chance or opportunity to see what he could do at an NBA level, right? Because he has the skill set, he has the tools, he has the size, right? Like, he has all the things that, in theory, make sense for what the Lakers need, so why wouldn't you at least give him a look? So I don't see that. The only way I see Jordan Goodwin actually being on the Lakers roster is if a trade ends up happening, right? And then now it's like, okay, well, now we need a guard. Boom, here you go, bring him in, and we get a guy that has NBA experience, that has skill sets that you need, skill sets that you can provide, being that defender, being that guy that could just get into the teeth of things, hustle guy, dirty work guy, right? Like, again, I like Jordan Goodwin. I think he really does have some real potential for the Lakers, but I don't think he's this, I just don't see where and how we end up bringing him on the roster. I don't see where he makes the roster in any of the training camp guys, right? Because again, the Lakers would have to make a trade, whether it's a salary dump move or whatever, to bring in a guy like a Jordan Goodwin. So it doesn't add up if the plan is to really have him be a piece that maybe the Lakers could really have on this roster. Kind of be like the guard version of a Jared Vanderbilt type, right? Help with rebounding, help with defense. Shooting is definitely a question and a big concern. But again, I don't see that being a reality. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like the idea of Jordan Goodwin? Are you glad that they brought him in for training camp? Do you think that the Lakers should unload somebody for him? Do you think, like, no, like, you know, I know the first default everyone has, because I kind of had it too, is like another guard, really? Like, we need another guard, which is why I just think that this is just for matchups for camp, right? This is just a defensive assignment for D'Lo and guys like that. You know, maybe it's not. Maybe something happens. We'll see. But again, I feel whatever your thoughts are. I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. It's me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.